Well, I just finished a nice lunch out here in the woods. It was kind of a crossover between pemmican and black bean soup. Worked out pretty good. I'll probably show you how that is made at some point in the future. But right now it is time to have a coffee. And I have a new coffee maker with me, something very simple. This one was given to me as a gift at Christmas time, and that is this Sea to Summit Pioneer Series pour over. If you're interested in seeing how this works, keep watching. Hi folks, quick interruption and then we'll really get going with this video. One of the things I just noticed at the end was this whole video, and now I'm at the end enjoying my coffee, I've been calling this the Sea to Summit Pioneer Series pour over. It is not. It is the Sea to Summit Frontier Series pour over. So anytime you hear me say Pioneer, think Frontier. All right, now we really can get started. All right, as I mentioned, I actually purchased this myself. I said it was a gift, and that is partially true. It was actually a gift card to Mountain Equipment Co-op that allowed me to buy this online. And it's something that had been on my wish list, so sooner or later I would have purchased it. It's not sent to me by Sea to Summit for review. And the reason I was interested in this, well, the design looked interesting and I wanted to see just how effective it was. But you may recall that I put a video out a few years ago now on another pour over coffee maker from Sea to Summit. It is their collapsible silicone pour over from their X series. And I actually brought it with me today so that I could show it to you. And that's it here in its expanded state. Now, I really did not give this device a good review for a variety of reasons. I won't go into all of them right now. If you're interested, I will link that review video at the end of this. This also is something I purchased for myself, was not sent to me by Sea to Summit either. The basic thing is, it looks like it should work. It is a collapsible pour-over device. Down in the center and the bottom was a double stainless steel mesh screening that was meant to capture all the grinds, the fines, and allow the coffee to pass through. Well, I noted a couple things in trying to use it. Unless you used a very coarse coffee, then it clogged really fast. You never got a full cup of coffee out of it. That was my experience. Other people may have a different experience using it. And if you use and of course if it didn't clog, it would have been too thin a coffee because the coffee wouldn't have had the contact time with it. You know, it's just one of those things. The other thing is, in order to take the filter out, you can pop it out. It's kind of held in but with the silicone. You can pop it out, you can wash it, but then getting it back in to the bottom of this was a real challenge, to the point where eventually I broke the screen. And I set this aside and I said, okay, it's useless now. Well, I did come up with another use for it. In fact, I'm using it of late with my Keith Titanium pour over. The Flavor Guard filter, the conical filter, works perfectly with this, and actually it's better than what Keith sent to me for review to go with it. So I'll continue to use this. As you can see, I cut the bottom out of it because, well, like I said, it wasn't doing me any good, but it works now to hold the Keith Flavor Guard. And yeah, so now I have this. So this is in another line of Sea to Summit's products they call the Pioneer Series, and it's so simple. It's a two-piece affair. You can see inside there's the base. This is going to sit over top of my mug, and here's the filter, and it folds open to create a what do you call that? A pyramid. It'd be a pyramid, I guess, if it's upside down. So it is also ultra-fine perforated stainless steel walls, not mesh, but actually perforated walls, which is, I think, does better in terms of not clogging. And in order to use this, you just simply drop it in to the base like that, down over your cup, put your coffee in, pour your water in, right? If it works, it's really simple. Well, it does work, and I'm going to demonstrate that for you now. I thought it'd be appropriate today, since I was bringing out the Sea to Summit pour-over device, again from the Pioneer Series, that I would bring out a few of my other Sea to Summit products that I could do this whole video up with. So these are all purchased myself. None of them were sent to me. This is the Sea to Summit X Series kettle, Sea to Summit X Series collapsible mug, and just out of frame there is the Sea to Summit 1.2-liter pot, collapsible pot. I think that's what I cooked up my black bean pemmican soup today. So again, to set up, I guess, so easy. Fold it open, lay that across the top of the cup. Fits pretty much every size mug. I found that, yeah, I don't think I have anything too big for this, or certainly nothing I bring out here. This is about as large as the one I'd get. Put in my coffee, Rampage coffee, fairly finely ground, not overly fine. And I'm putting, actually I don't want to put in 3, I'm going to put in 2.5 tablespoons. That comes to about 17 grams of coffee. Check on my water. Oh, I was a little bit too quick. The water is got bubbles on the bottom. It's a cold day out today. It takes a little bit longer for it. Tell you what I'll do is I'll just cut away for a moment, and when this has come to a full rolling boil, and then I'll start the video back up and we'll commence the pour over. All right, my water has come to a boil. Let me turn the stove off. I'll start the pour over process. Now, it occurs to me that I haven't given you any specifications for the Sea Summit Pioneer Series pour over. So, give me a second, I'll just do a pre-soak. All I'm doing right now is just putting a little bit of water in just to let the coffee kind of swell up a little bit. 2 ounces. That's all it is, just 2 ounces for the whole device. Now, if you want to take the filter and not the holder, not sure why you would, 1.7 ounces. The dimensions in its flat folded state, just over 4 inches. Now, it is triangular, but just over 4 inches and just over ½ an inch thick. Made from silicone, stainless steel, and polypropylene. I'll put all this, of course, in the video description. Now, the process is just to go round and around, pouring the water in. Kind of like this X series. I don't use it very often. It's virtually intended only for use over gas stoves. But when I'm looking for something compact and I know it's just going to be gas that I'm using, yeah, sometimes I do take this out. Everything kind of snuggles together. And that's more than enough water. Takes a second for it to pour through. And once it does, I'll have a cup of hot coffee. We'll wrap this video up. All right, taste test. Hot. Very hot. One more taste test. You know, these X-Series collapsible silicone mugs are great in that they do help to keep things warm for a little bit longer period of time. By the way, I don't know if I've mentioned, they have measurement size, so you could use these as measuring cups as well if you're preparing another meal. The only, how should I say, downside of them is that, well, you should be able to see it. It's an inverted cone, and what happens is, especially if it's full, it gets a little top heavy. You have to be careful not to knock it, because once you knock it, it starts to go, it goes the rest of the way. So it's great for holding on to. It keeps everything nice and warm. It packs away, but yeah, it can tip over quite easily. Another little taste. Now, someone's going to ask, so I'll get ahead of you on this. Does it leave any fines, very, very fine silty grinds in the bottom of your cup? Yes, it does. Not a lot, really, not a lot. And I don't notice it while I'm drinking. You don't feel them in your mouth. It's not like cowboy coffee where spit no grounds. You really don't feel it. What it does do, it's kind of like French press. It gives you a little bit more body to your coffee, gives you a little bit more mouthfeel, if you will. More of the oils are coming through. They're not getting trapped by paper filters. So you get a bit of a richer cup of coffee, but when you finish it off, that last mouthful, you'll see down in the bottom of your cup, yeah, there is a little bit of sludge in the bottom of it, so I didn't want to have anybody think otherwise. Now, you're probably saying, well, then, Mark, could I use a paper filter in it? Because I really don't like those grinds. Yeah, you could, sure. Absolutely, you could use a paper filter in that. I'm just not sure what advantage it would give you. Because these things are not real cheap. They're not very expensive, but you can buy cheaper pour-over, silicone pour-overs from the dollar store and probably on Amazon. If you really want to use a filter, that's the way I would go. That's what I do when I'm using filters, is use the cheaper one that I have. I like this because I don't have to use a paper filter, and it does a good job, and I'm happy, and I'm fine with the little bit of fines that are in the bottom of the mug afterwards. In my opinion, it makes a great tasting cup of coffee. Okay, I just wanted to share that with you. Again, I called it a gift, but it was the gift card to Mountain Equipment Co-op that allowed me to buy this, and it was on my wish list for quite a period of time. The last thing I'll talk about is the cleanup. This seems to be easier to clean up than a lot of other pour-overs. Really, all you have to do is whatever container you're dumping it into, turn it over and give it a smack. Most of it falls out, and it rinses out with a little bit of water exceptionally well after that, and then you're ready to go. If you want to give it a little soap and water just to make sure there's no grime left behind, then do so. Just make sure it's all rinsed out so you don't have any soap in the next time you go to taste your coffee. All right. If you have any comments or questions on the Sea Summit Pioneer Series collapsible silicone pour-over device, put them in the comments section below. I'm going to give you a link to where I purchased mine on Mountain Equipment Co-op, and if you're not familiar, that's the Canadian version of REI down in the States, but I'll also put Sea Summit's website link on there as well, because wherever you are in the world, it's going to be something a little different in terms of where you order it from. All right. Until next time, get out and explore and take that path less traveled, because it will make all the difference. Bye for now.